everyone, it's your host Samaya, and it's February 19th at 3:40, and I'm here with episode 4. You guys will not be getting a video for this episode because I'm in no shape or form to be being recorded right now. It's definitely my weekend, and I'm taking advantage, and I did not get ready, and so you guys do not get to see what I look like right now. But this episode is going to be about caring for yourself right now versus caring for yourself in the future. And I think this is kind of important to keep in mind because when I started to distinguish between the two and I started to do things with more intention, I was just over a lot happier and I was able to create a lot more balance in my life. And so, just an example of that is just when you're caring for yourself, a lot of things that I do when that I notice when I care for myself right now and is I have a lot of good hydration. Like I drink a lot of water and I'm doing a lot of good skincare. Like I'm taking care of my body and I'm really like taking time for myself right now. I'm not rushing. Like I'm kind of being lazy and I don't think lazy is the right term, but I'm not rushing to any kind of finish line. I take a lot of time with my like relationships and friendships. Like when I'm caring for myself, I'm also seem to be caring a lot more for the people around me, like my siblings and my boyfriend. And also, I become a lot more emotionally in tune because it allows me to take a lot more time to like focus on the way that I'm feeling and work on that instead of focusing on things for the future. And then the opposite of that is when I'm focusing for my future self, I'm not really giving myself time to rest. I'm kind of just pushing myself to the limit in a lot of ways. And I kind of get tunnel vision into like a goal or like whatever I'm doing, so I can kind of lack in a lot of different ways. I become very like detached to a lot of my surroundings, but I also become very driven. Like I become a very productive person and I just all of a sudden I'm not sitting in bed for 30 minutes. Like I'm going to go fold my laundry or I'm going to do things to help my future self. And I'm also not very rational. I like to, when I'm not caring for my present self, I tend to like overanalyze things a lot and kind of put energy into things where it doesn't need to go. And so let's get into like when I started paying attention into these differences because it didn't just click in my head that there was a difference between doing these two different things. And so I started to notice that I was caring for myself a lot. My future self a lot. Not too long ago because before, let's say 6 or 7 months ago, I was like rock bottom type stuff. There, not 6 months ago, I would say. Something happened, and so I kind of hit my rock bottom, and things were really hard for a long time. And so caring for my present self was like out the window. Like my entire vision was like, how do I make myself better in the future? And getting there became so difficult because I wasn't even caring for the person that I was in the moment. Like I was constantly like, let me get a job so I can do this in the future, and I didn't even give myself time to like prepare and get used to a schedule again. Like there are so many things that I could go into, so let me figure out where to start. Hold on. Okay. And so when I noticed that like I had no schedule, like I would wake up at 6:30 in the morning. I would wake up at 7 and have 30 minutes to get ready. Like I would wake up at 5:30 and just be sitting in bed and wasting my time and then have to rush. Like I was like so out of whack that I had no schedule and I was like, why am I doing this? But then I was also doing things like I got a job and I was trying to be like, well, how do I get out of this? How do I put myself in a position to get out of this? But I wasn't doing things to actually get me out of it in an appropriate way. Getting a job at the time that I did, it's great now and I'm really happy with my job and I'm really grateful that I'm able to have a job at Sage. And it's a good income and it's actually a really good job. Like it's a good community. All my coworkers are great. But I was just saying that like it was really difficult to start with. And so I think if I waited and I gave myself more time to focus on myself in the moment, I wouldn't have had like as many like faults and as many lows as I did. Sorry guys, I don't really, let me get this fixed a little bit. Okay. And so yeah, I don't think I would have had as many like valleys and as many peaks as I did because it was really hard to go from so many highs to so many lows at such like 6 months isn't that long of a time, but it feels like I lived years within those just few months. Like I feel like I grew as a person so exponentially that it's like it was almost overwhelming because there was just so much being thrown at me in that one time that I didn't give myself time to even process it. And so I wish that I would have done that differently now, but I'm glad that it taught me that lesson to like make sure you guys, if you're not ready to do something, don't push yourself to that limit. Like taking care of your health and like the person you are is so important. But then when I hit this rock bottom, it kind of opened my eyes after, and I had been in that pattern for so long. I was like, I'm doing all these things. I feel like I should be digging myself out of this hole by now, but like it feels like I'm still in it. And so I started to pick up on these things like, what am I actually doing to like help myself right now? Like I got a job, yes. Like I'm trying to get money. I'm trying to save money, yes. Like I'm getting good grades, but what am I actually doing for myself? Like you staying up till 9 o'clock to finish your homework, like is that helping you at all? It's helping your grades, but your grades don't matter if you're not okay. And so then I started to do things very, very, very intentionally. And I talked about this in one of my first episode, I think. But I started journaling. I I have subscribed to a lot of the YouTubers over the past few years who have these really good traits and like these amazing habits that I would love to pick up on. And so I went to Walmart and I got this journal. And let me tell you guys, getting that journal had to seriously be like the best thing that I've decided to do. It seriously has opened my eyes and made me discover so much about myself, and I would have never been able to do that otherwise. So, guys, to hear me out, if you're gonna take anything from this podcast, if you have a notebook, like you don't need to go get a journal. If that's gonna motivate you, that's what motivated me. Is like I needed my own notebook. But if that's what's gonna motivate you, go to Walmart, go to Family Dollar or some like gas station or something, and get a little journal. Go download Pinterest and look up journal quotes or journal prompts, and just answer a few of them. And it might be like, oh, this is stupid, but after like, you feel like you're productive because you didn't just sit and scroll on your phone for an extra 5 minutes. No, you use your brain and you answered questions. Like you wrote stuff. Like it's just there's no fault from it, and how much you can learn from just taking a second, like you slow down for a second and analyze yourself. You begin to like learn so much about yourself. Like for example, one of the prompts that I think I learned so much from was what are traits you see in yourself that if you saw in somebody else you would disapprove of. And that for me was like really eye opening because I do a lot of things that I could see somebody else doing and I would turn over and like talk crap about it with my friends or something and be like, do you just see them do that? But little did I know, when nobody was looking, I found myself doing very similar things. So you guys, if you fall under that too, it's so easy to. Like you're gonna be there like, oh, I hate girls that sit in a circle and talk about drama for no reason. Like they're such annoying little girls. But then when you're with your friends out and you're thinking no one's listening to you, what are you probably talking about? Like you're talking about Sally down the street who has a bad haircut. Like Sally did nothing to you, right? So it really does just make you look so much into yourself, and that's when I begin to grow. You can't grow unless you identify what you need to change. If you're just like, I want to get better and I want to become skinnier, and you just think that, but you're not actually doing anything to make a difference, dude, how are you gonna get skinnier? How are you gonna lose weight? If you're like, oh, I want a better diet, but you're still eating donuts every day, well, there's no change. But if you physically you identify that what is making me feel so unhealthy, and what is these foods that I'm eating that aren't healthy? Oh, it's the donuts that I eat in the morning when I stop by the gas station. Okay, we'll cut those out. Maybe you get a donut on every Tuesday from the gas station. Every other day, you're waking up and making like an egg sandwich or something. Like, there's just, you can't change something unless you identify what you need to change. Because a lot of times, people see that there's a problem and just throw things at it to try and fix it without actually identifying what you need to fix. And so, hold on, guys, sorry. I'm just gonna try and scroll down a little so I can see more of my notes. But a question that I had for myself a lot is, which one of these should I be focusing on? And is there one that I need to be focusing on more right now than the other? And in that moment when I was at my rock bottom, should I have been focusing for my future self? No, like 0%. Like, what was me helping me 2 months from then gonna do for me now? Like, it wouldn't matter how I was 2 months from then if I didn't get there. So, everything is like, in a perspective of, for myself at least, is like, we, sorry guys, we are truly not promised tomorrow. Like, as much as we say and we can pray that we are not promised tomorrow. And so it doesn't matter if in 2 months from now I set myself up for a job. If today I had a really hard day and I feel like crap and my stomach's upset and I'm hungry and I feel like I didn't get anything done just because I was too busy sitting down all day looking for jobs and I didn't fold all my laundry, but then I stayed up till 9 o'clock because I knew I needed to do that. Like, no, who is that really helping at the end of the day? Because it's definitely not yourself. But when you are focusing on your present self, things like good habits and stuff start to fall into place. And so when you're focusing on yourself, especially for myself, when I'm focusing on myself, I'm eating my 3 meals a day. And I'm taking time to go to bed early and to wake up at a decent time. Like, I'm not going to go to bed at 9 o'clock and then also wake up at 9 o'clock the next day. No, if I'm going to bed at 9 o'clock, you guys, I'm going to wake up at like 6:30 or 7 the next day and get my day started early, because that's the purpose of going to bed early. If I want to sleep in until 10 o'clock, okay, that's fine. But I'm not going to sleep 12 hours because then the next day I've slept too much and I'm just tired afterwards. Like, you have to know yourself so much. Because also, I don't want you guys to get the idea that it is never okay to look out for your future self. It's okay. Let me think of how to say this. When you think it's okay to start focusing on your future self, make sure that you have identified that your self currently is okay. Because that's what I didn't do, is I flipped the two and I started caring for my future self before my present self was cared for. And that's just crazy to me that I didn't pick up on that sooner, because what does it matter? Like, seriously, you guys, what does it matter if in 40 years you're not even here, but you're here now? So worry about your girl right now. Like, if yes, you have these good habits in place, and you're already like, you're a girl, like you're a superstar, you've got your job, like you got a good habits, you go to bed at a good hour, you're eating every meal, like you're working out, you have good friendships, like your room is clean, you're in a good headspace, then yes, like that is absolutely time when you can say, I'm so solid right now that it is okay for me to branch off now and start to focus on other things. Like, that's when it's okay to say, I'm good right now and I'm happy at the place that I'm at, so now we can grow. But it's so hard to grow from a place that you're already so unhappy with, because you don't know where you're headed. Like, I don't know how. It's really hard to wrap my head around the fact that I didn't pick up on some of these things that I was doing. But after that journaling, guys, opened my brain. And I had a planner, actually. I had been using a planner. I'm definitely a planner girl. I've been using a planner for like over a year. And I have never missed like more than like 2 days. because I just need that plan. Like, I wake up and I need to know what my day is consisting of. I need that purpose. And I recommend that for anybody. Like, if you're wake up in the morning and you feel like, oh, I don't know what I even need to do today. Like, I can just sit in bed and do nothing because I don't have anything else to do. You can get a planner. Like, write the little things that you know you're gonna get done in it. Write them in that anyways. Like, I know that I'm gonna journal every day, but I'm still writing in there so I have something to check off. Like, I have something that I'm looking forward to and a task that I know I have to complete. Because when you feel yourself checking off those boxes and you feel yourself completing these things, it just leads to more things. Like, oh, I cleaned my guinea pig's cage. Like, well, now I feel good. Like, I got something done. Like, what else can I get done? Oh, like, I see that my laundry is unfolded. Let me go fold my laundry. Oh, there's towels downstairs in the dryer. Like, I can be nice and go fold those for everybody. Like, there's always something that you could be doing that's more than what you are right now. But there's also such a thin line that is so hard to identify. Like, when you cross, like, when is it okay to rest and it not be like laziness, you know? Like, when you just have to know, like, when you're doing something, have intention. If we're gonna lay down and scroll on TikTok for 30 minutes, great. Like, get scrolling, but don't lay down and be like, well, I have nothing to do, so I'm just gonna sit here. Or no, I do have things to do, but I've been doing things for 3 hours. Let me sit down and get a rest, and I'll get going after. And then we're just intentionally setting this time. Oh, I'm taking this time to rest and to let my body recoup. Then afterwards, and you're setting the intention, oh, I'm gonna get some things done so I'm not just sitting here wasting my time. Things become so much more intentional and honestly so much bigger of a priority. And I just find myself getting so much more done when I care for myself and I have a plan. So, you guys, if you're gonna take anything from this, pick up a journal and just one or two quotes. Seriously, you can do one or two quotes like twice a week. And eventually it'll become something that it's just a habit. Like every night then maybe you'll do a quote. Or then every night you'll do two quotes. Or then every night you're writing a page or you're just writing about your day and you don't need the quotes. But guys, writing is so amazing. If you don't take advantage of just being able to truly like express yourself, like I don't know, guys, just try it out. Tell me what you think. And also, let me know how this audio sounds. I've got headphones finally, but I'm still figuring out how to connect them when I can record also. So we'll figure that out hopefully. Thank you all for listening. If you got a takeaway from this, please just give it a try. And we'll catch you in episode 5. Not sure when you should be expecting that, but it won't be too long. And I just hope everyone has a great afternoon or a good night or a good morning whenever you're listening. And I'll see you then.